Welcome back, it's Trish. Let me clarify a few things. In recovery, we share our stories, and they are helpful for new people and people going through difficult times. Letting them know they are not alone and can make it through, even heal. I have tried to write my story many times and the emotion made it difficult. So far, I am doing better with this. So let's get to it. Last time, I left off at 17 when I left home. And looking back, that's really where recovery began, even if I didn't know it yet. To backtrack, my childhood was unstable. We were often on the run. My mother had lost 4 children before us, and everything became a threat after that. I remember wanting to go on Addie Bobkins, a kid show at 11. I couldn't. My mother's ex-husband or his family might see us and try to take my sister. So we moved constantly, 20 times between first grade and high school. I counted them in AA. It was an exercise, not sure if I could do it today. We moved up and down the West Coast. Even into Mexico. We traveled by Greyhound bus. There is nothing like being nauseated on diesel fumes bouncing on a bus. We carried everything we owned into 2 boxes per ticket, our whole lives. Which meant we left things behind. Even pets, something I carried shame and responsibility for. As I was drawn to animals very young. By the time I was 10, I was already carrying a lot. We lived in poverty. Often we didn't eat. I remember watching my younger siblings go without food. At one point, I had my sister bring home bread from school lunches, as did I. I wanted my family to have something to eat. My younger sibling was not school age. By 14, I started trying to get out. I went to stay with cousins, but I was not ready. I still wanted my mother. By 15, I was trying again, hitchhiking, running away, ending up in temporary foster homes or detention centers. The last summer, at 17, I took my younger sister with me. Hitchhiking down the coast in California, sleeping in laundromats. And on the way home, I knew, if I didn't stop, I was going to repeat my mother's life. So I went to the welfare office that opened once a week in my small town. I went to ask for help. My sister came with me. And that was the last time I lived at home, or with my siblings. My sister was sent to her paternal aunt's house. I had 1 year left, so I was in the system. So my life away from my family began. I went into a foster home during my last year of high school. It was structured, stable, and completely unfamiliar. By that time I had basically raised myself and was almost an adult. I tried to adapt, but I didn't quite fit. Independent, opinionated, just surviving in a world that expected something different. The week I graduated, I was asked to leave. No warning. I went to stay with a friend in Utah. And that was the start of my adult life. Those early years were hard. I had to learn everything, how to live, work, pay rent, function day to day. There was no safety net. I could talk to people, so I got by. But underneath that, I didn't really know who I was. I went to community college on and off. Did well when I could attend. Made friends. Had moments where I even felt lucky. But I also started drinking. I had my first drink at 14, but my year in foster care, I was sober. I started running again, something I developed at 16, and so I didn't drink in a problematic way until after my 21st birthday. Then soon, I drank for everything: stress, happiness, boredom, fear. In the beginning it was fun, social, I could make friends and was not self-conscious. Within a few years, it became daily. From the outside, I looked like I was managing. A petite blonde Mormon-looking woman, disintegrating from the inside. My liver was not processing the alcohol, at least that was what the doctor said. I could drink anything all night and not get drunk. Or I could take 1 drink and not know where I was. I could not control those experiences. I struggled to connect, to move forward. I left a controlling relationship and moved in with a friend. Within 6 months, I found AA, helped by a movie Clean and Sober with one of my favorite actors, Michael Keaton. But 2 moments really changed everything. With limited support, I found a way to AA and saved myself. I heard that today in my head. I have made so many mistakes, but in this I saved my own life. First, a woman contacted me and told me she was my sister, one of the 4 children my mother had lost. For the first time, I felt like I came from somewhere. I had people, living on the run was very isolating. Second, a friend of mine was murdered after picking someone up at a bar. And I knew that could have been me. That was my bottom. On October 16th, I went to AA. It took me 2 months to get sober going to daily meetings. But I finally got it. My life was unmanageable, and I had nowhere to go. I had found acceptance. Not as giving up, but as starting where you are. Standing honestly before people and yourself and learning to move forward. That was over 35 years ago. Since then, I've built a life I never imagined. Frankly, I thought I would die young. I did everything about 15 years later than everyone, but I did it. Married sober, had a child, 2 degrees, working in the same business 25 years. And I know I wouldn't be here if I had kept drinking. I even found my father later in life. And now, I believe there's still more for me to do. So tell me your story. Because healing happens when we hear bits of our story, see others doing it. It is part of the miracle. Real change comes from love. From acceptance. From continuing to grow. And I'm still doing that. So until next week, remember each day you are important and worth the effort.